You believe it, this morning we had just a little bit of sunshine, and then all of a sudden the windstorm came up again, and look at the rain again. We got some testing to do with the range, but forget that. This is not conducive to range. Well, it turns out that I bought this box of Oregon Trail laser cast bullets years ago, and I got these because they're hard bullets with a silver alloy that is well known to be one of the hardest bullets that you can buy. Well, the knock on these bullets was that if you shot these at lower velocities, like target velocities, they would lead your gun because the bullets are so hard that they actually lead at lower velocity. But if you shot them at high velocity, then they would perform well. And that's why I bought these bullets. They are .45 caliber and .452 diameter, 255 grain semi-wad cutters. And I bought 500 of these in this box, and there's 400 left. Well, shooters and reloaders out there, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you from the hot lead zone. As you all know, the hardness of bullets is not the primary drive to prevent leading in our guns. The primary drive is that our cast bullets fit our guns properly. And bullet hardness is actually a more distant second in importance. So, can we shoot laser cast bullets that are that hard, optimized for high velocity? Can we shoot them at lower velocity if they fit our gun properly? You would think so. Let's go ahead and test the loadings of these hard cast, laser cast Oregon Trail bullets in our guns at lower velocity to see if proper bullet fit will overrule over hard bullets in terms of getting leading or not. To show you how hard these bullets are, I did my thumbnail test right there on that center bullet right there, and there's no dent at all. This hardness is around BHN 22, right around linotype, because linotype doesn't dent either. Well, some of the reports about severe leading that required a lot of work to clear that leading has come through and actually has hurt the sales of laser cast bullets by Oregon Trail. So this is perhaps an important topic because these actually are nice bullets, but again, if we get a lot of leading, that's not what we want. Now, we're not going to make this test easy on laser cast bullets, because at the end of this test, if the bullets don't cause leading, that would be a real plus for these bullets. So the gun we're going to use is the Ruger 7.5-inch 45 Colt Black Hawk revolver, and because of the long barrel, that will make leading more likely to happen. Also, we're going to use 45 Schofield brass cases to load these rounds, and the shorter 45 Schofield brass will help promote leading. So again, if the bullet can show us that it doesn't lead under these conditions, it's a good bullet. Now, the .452 diameter of these bullets is actually a good diameter that should not lead based on the fit of the bullets to the gun. And that's very important. However, we will be definitely loading some lighter loads that has been reported to cause heavy lead. We're going to load 6.3 grains of universal powder in those 45 Schofield cases. And you'll notice that the bullets have a nice crimping groove so that the seating depth is set by the design of the bullet. 6.3 grains of universal will give us the equivalent of the ammunition that was used on the frontier when the 45 Schofield was much in vogue with the U.S. military and civilian shooters of the time, back in the 1870s and 1880s. So once again, we're going to use our Hornady automatic powder dispenser that weighs charges within 1/10 of a grain. And so you see we've entered 6.3 there, and we'll enter that into our target. You see there's 6.3. Now if we press the dispense button right there, it'll zero and then throw a 6.3 charge. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got it set on fast speed and automatic. So it'll zero, there it goes. Now it's going to go ahead and throw a charge. Let's see if it overshoots at fast speed. You gotta love the Hornady automatic powder dispenser. I tell you, it's great. If you buy it on sale, it's a real good buy. Now notice the powder level is low. That's because it's by weight, not by volume. So you don't need baffles in there to increase accuracy. It just throws the charge by weight. So you don't need a lot of powder in there. That's plenty for 50 rounds. To save time, this 45 Schofield brass has already been resized and neck expanded, mouth flared, and primed. 50 rounds all ready to go. If you want to see how all that was done, the recent video on loading the 255 grain Hornady swedge bullets has just been put up. So to properly adjust the seating die for a new bullet, first thing we do is back out the die body from the lock rings so you don't do any crimping. Then you have to back out the seating stem because you don't want it to overseat the bullet. So there's the die in the press. Take a case and set the bullet onto the flared mouth. That's very important. If the mouth isn't flared, when you seat the bullet, you'll shave lead. That is very bad. Cannot have that. So we go ahead, and the idea is to seat the bullet until the case mouth is even with the crimping groove, or the top part of the crimping groove, to be more precise. So you see we've backed everything out, nothing's happening. So we go ahead and lower the stem until you feel it hit the bullet. Then go ahead and lower it a couple of turns because it's going to take a bit to get down to there. The idea is not to overshoot and overseat it. Still not the crimping groove, so we're safe to go some more. And still some more. We're getting a little closer now, so smaller adjustments. And you can go ahead and look at it in good light. No, we're still not there. It needs another, just a little less than a 1/16 of an inch. That's not enough. But it's getting there. So just a little bit more. Just a hair more. Now we have the seating depth just a little bit more. There it is. It's right at the top of the crimping groove. Now the trick is back out the bullet seater and screw in the die body to get the crimp. No crimp yet. Now we're getting some crimp. So let's back it off a little bit. We don't want to over crimp. There we go. A little bit more than that. A good crimp will give you lower standard of deviations, more consistent ammo. But you don't want to crimp so much that you get the dreaded S form where the crimp goes in and starts to come buckle back out. You don't want that. There it is. So now the crimp is good. We want to go ahead and lock your die lock ring, but don't over tighten it because these kind of set screw type rings will damage the threads of your die body if you over crank it. Then run the case back in and then lower your seating stem until it touches the bullet. Now you've got the die set up so that it will seat to the proper depth, and then at the end apply the crimp. So we're good. There's the loaded round. It's all done. So now we've got another thrown powder charge from our Hornady. And when I use a Hornady, I like to go ahead and put the powder in there and then go ahead and seat the bullet right away. That way you avoid double charges, you avoid no charges, this kind of thing. Now there you see it's seating, and now it's crimping. So it does it all in one step. There it is. We'll show you close with that in a little while, and you see we're ready for the next charge. So let's go ahead and do 50 of those, just like that. I must say that these laser cast bullets by Oregon Trail are a pleasure to use. The lube that they use is a very hard lube, so it doesn't really get on your fingers. It doesn't make a mess in your dies. For a lube bullet, it's about as clean as you can get a traditionally cast bullet. There's the next charge. Dump it in. Put a bullet right on top. Bullets are right there where I put my funnel, so when I put the funnel down, you pick up a bullet. Nice uniform results. There's the next charge. Now I know a lot of you will ask me how come I am doing the crimping and the bullet seating in the same operation instead of separating them out into two. And you could certainly do that. In other words, you got the seating stem set for the bullet seating depth. You just seat all the bullets, then you back out that stem and then adjust the crimp, and then crimp all the cases as a separate procedure. And you could do that, so you can do it two or in one. And you know, most of the time I like to do it in two. But this is fine because the whole idea of a tapered crimping groove on the bullet. You see that crimping groove? It's got a taper. And then the top part of the groove is straight out. So when you get the bullet seating depth close to where you want it, the crimp engages and it folds the crimp right into that tapered groove. So it works out perfectly. You don't get a bad result. What's bad is if you're actually biting into bare lead or something and there's still more seating going on, you'll bunch up the lead. So that's what you don't want. When in doubt, do the two-step bullet seating and crimping as a separate procedure. That's the best. But when you have a nice tapered crimping groove like on these laser cast bullets by Oregon Trail, you get the chance to do both procedures at once, and it works out real well, as you see there. It just works out perfectly. So how this 230 grain truncated cone got mixed in with all those semi-wad cutters, that's interesting. They must be throwing bullets around at the factory. So there's 50 rounds loaded. And a 50 round test for leading is very important because you won't get any leading with 6 or 7 rounds. You need to have a good 50 round test at least. So it's off to the range to test for leading with laser cast bullets. Bye for now.